Well, hello, everybody. We have Disco Infernal Az with us today. And yes, he has been doing this the entire time backstage and refusing to answer any questions. So we don't actually know what the hell we're going to talk about. But it's great to see everybody here. I obviously want to say again, wow, I wish I had some acid. It's great to see you. Thanks for being on the show. How you doing, Az?
I'm dizzy.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I like that intro. I like the Anduin. That was good.
Yeah.
I'll take the Anduin.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Just seeing Az's face on Bilbo just works for some
reason.
reason.
The Bilbo one was the best though. That was the best. It's just like fuck this walking. It's just me. That's just me to a T. It's like exercise.
The look I really want to see is from that poster that's just come out, with the mutton chops. We've got to get those going.
I think I might, I might just to get rid of this and get the old mutton chops going. But I say, young lady.
Let me bring in the chat. Let me say a quick hello and thank you to Maxfield Von Priestley, who is not going to be in the United States very long. Brother, you're going over to Europe.
I will be, yes. So I'll be just flying right over Purple and Az, most likely, and I'll wave and say hi. And unfortunately, I won't be able to stay too long, but yeah. But I'm looking forward to it, and it'll be a nice break.
Well,
nice. Yeah. That is so cool.
Az, if you wouldn't mind just going out on your deck and mooning every plane that's flying east, I'm sure one of them will be Max.
Anyways.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
Why change the habit of lifetime,
Law of averages is going to get him eventually. Yeah,
that's true.
On the third hour of the flight.
This guy's asshole out again. I don't know. Every day, I'm come across. Got this brown eye out, doesn't it?
As is the Gandalf of flights. He goes, on the third hour of your flight, look to the west. And you'll see.
The beacons are lit. Yes. No, it's Az's pasty ass.
I start off in grey, and then I take off, and then I become Gandalf the fucking white. You know what I'm
saying? Snow-capped peaks of Mount Heel versus
land at the other side, and I'm just like this bleached guy. Give me a fight, fuck off, bitch. I don't think I'm getting back in that metal death trap again. You go.
Oh my God. Let me say hello to Purple Valkyrie. You had an amazing chill stream this morning. I really love the positive vibe that you were rolling with. And
thank you.
It's also fun to harass you during most of it as well. Let me just say hello to some people in the chat. You guys are amazing. We have 102 people here today. Let me just call people out. We've got a bunch of my channel members, Ian Soforth. We have Jeremy Turner. We have the one and only Flaccid Phoenix. Unsubscribe to Flaccid Phoenix if you haven't already. And let's go ahead and start with Lyle Hammock, who is one of my longtime supporters and channel members, very good friend. For $10 US says, hail to you all, and sadly I can't hang today. I have many fires at work to deal with. Just a little something for you guys. Also, come on, Az. I know you'll miss Batwoman, Naomi, or at least your viewers will.
Oh, the viewers.
Yeah. Also find something else to erode his sanity. It's fine.
All two of them will miss it.
I gotta watch after I've done this stream. I gotta spend an hour and a half watching the finale to Naomi because I'm recording with Jane Theory tonight. So it's just
my God.
Bless you.
Lyle,
I only get through one episode. I gotta do a double shift.
Dude,
that's just cruel. That's a cruel way to end it.
Anyway, so it's just like, hey, really? What's the point? And Jane and I should just come on tonight and just go, it's over, it got cancelled. Off. What are you doing here? Go.
Why don't you watch the Prey trailer and review Naomi and do a Batwoman multi-season recap?
I'm sure I might do a Batwoman extended video where I go through the whole I'm currently calling it the fall and terminal velocity of Batwoman.
Oh, I see.
There's not even a hint of a rise. So it's the fall and terminal velocity of Batwoman, where I do a deep dive from the very announcement through to the trailers, through to the reception, through to the cancellation. So that's going to be a long form video. So I'm going to start working on that. So I'm going to do little bits and baps, and who knows when that's gonna come out. But it's going to be one of those long form things.
It's going to be cathartic. Basically, you're just going to get it out of your system. Yeah.
I think really not necessarily get out of my system. I think just point and laugh. Just, make sure I just ridicule as much as I possibly can before it goes out of the public vernacular, and send it
have
off.
It all
should be sent off.
All documented too in one video. I mean, like you said, from start to finish, you can document the whole thing. I'm looking forward to it, man. That sounds good.
Hundreds of years from now, scientists will look back and they'll go, "What is this fucking idiot talking about?" No wonder.
Wait a minute.
No wonder the civilization blew itself up.
I thought we weren't going to talk about Let's Go, Brandon. Oh, we're still talking about Batwoman. I owe Lyle Hammock a super chat video. Lyle Hammock, this one's for you.
We travel light. That is handsome work.
Oh,
I know. Who doesn't?
Not me. I'll be there at the back going.
Sick of walking.
Can we get a travel log? Hey, boy. God, there, sit down. Your back's killing me.
Oh wow. So
I'll just lie here and get killed. Don't worry. I'm an extra now. I'm an extra.
But that's pretty much what Bilbo did in the book. At the end, he sat out the ending of his own story.
Bless him.
Yeah. We have another super chat. This is from Vic Rattleheadden, who happens to be in India and gave me my very first super chat when I got monetized. Also a member of my channel. Hail to you. This is for 100 Indian rupees. Says, my shift at work just ended. This is the perfect after work chill stream. Hail as in the panel. Let the good times flow. Well, hail to you, Vic Rattleheadden. Don't watch Batwoman. I think it's probably... the best thing we've got here, but let me go ahead and give you a quick video.
Never did me any harm. Now for wrath, now for ruin, and the red dawn.
Sorry about that, Az. I didn't mean to cut you off. Please go ahead.
No, Batwoman never did me no harm.
It's true.
No, you got a chart-topping song out of it. So
Well, I mean, it's still good. 72 in the UK iTunes charts.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 in the UK iTunes electronic charts.
It's nothing to be sneezed at, as.
Yeah, they raised some money for charity, so good stuff.
I've got a member super chat, and this is a question directed at you, Az. It's from our good friend Gray, Wakazishi's Tea House. He's.
I was going to name my child that.
Oh, I know, right?
So weird.
I know.
It was either David Smith or that.
It just rolls off the tongue. And so what he asks is, he says, ask Az about Yorkshire tea. What's your go-to blend, sir?
Yorkshire Gold.
Ooh,
nice.
But if there's no Yorkshire Gold, then a good old Yorkshire tea bag will do the job. But if you can get some Yorkshire Gold,
sweet. I've also got a channel member upgrade, Brandon the anime guy, who's a good friend of everyone on this show's. It upgraded to the highest channel member I have, which is a Taveran. Hail to you, brother. Welcome.
Nice.
To the Taveran. We've also got let me move around here. We've got our good friend Nathan, who live streams with us every other week. It says Az Cheeks representation. There it is. Motorboat. There you go.
It's quite tough on the neck this week.
He's having to bend down this time, yes.
We also have another.
That's not my job, So
we Snowdub Live sends us $2. Snowed Up Live sends us $2. Says Salty is pretty fly for a white guy. Well, thank you. I'm not just white on the outside. I'm also white on the inside. So let me go ahead and give you this. This one's for you, Snowed Up.
I am no man.
I always think of Purple Valkyrie on that one.
Oh, yes, the strong female characters that Tolkien didn't have until Amazon decided to invent them. Yes.
Yeah.
Remember that one? That was a nice little bait and switch, like a genuinely good one. No man can kill me. Oh, I'm no man. Yeah, clever, nice. Now it's every show on TV now. Some woman walking in with a stick, just going, "What? Knock, knock, knock. I'm the best bite." End the show.
So one of the things we wanted to talk about, and we talked about it in the green room before the show, was it seems like woke entertainment, ESG score entertainment is not just obviously failing, but it's also failing in ways that are starting to affect the bottom line of companies so that they look like they're having, I mean, look at all the mass cancellations at CW, what's going on with Warner Brothers. How do we think that, like, what do we think? Do we think that they're going to start changing their tune, or are they just going to keep doing what they're doing with new suits and different roles? What do we think about that? Do we think it's going to get better?
I think the tide is very, very slowly turning. I don't think we're going to see a massive change, anytime soon. But it does feel a lot more positive at the moment. I don't know whether that's just because people are kind of waking up to this sort of thing, and I don't just mean people like us that kind of report on it and talk about it, but it's the in quotes normies that seem to be noticing it more and more as well.
Well, the big thing with this new Discovery merger is the CEO. I think these are kind of his moves. I mean, because we're seeing these shows, I mean, Batwoman and Naomi within days of each other. Is that right, Az? Did they have gotten canceled?
Not quite.
Okay.
Batwoman Legends is right. Okay, so the thing's David Zaslav. Is it David Zaslav?
Zaslav. Yeah.
Zaslav, who's taken over, and this is a guy who said from the get-go, I want to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And so that kind of goes against the current philosophy of the CW.
Very much so. Yeah.
So when he came in, he looked at the performing shows. So he renewed Superman and Lois, which is, I mean, comparatively in the world of entertainment, it's performing poorly. But for the CW, it's doing demon stuff. So he renewed Superman and Lois, The Flash, and Walker, Texas Ranger, which has Jared Padalecki from Supernatural, who is a CW stalwart. He then cancelled a bunch of shows. Batwoman got cancelled, Legends of Tomorrow got cancelled, Dynasty got cancelled, and some other stuff which we don't watch got cancelled. Now, as we all fully aware, how Batwoman even got 3 seasons is a joke. The thing should have done half a season and bowed out with utter disgrace.
Yeah.
Legends of Tomorrow, again, that's a show which, I mean, it's shit. It's a show which has gone for 7 seasons. It's gone for 5 seasons too many, probably 4 seasons too many. But Naomi was still on air at the time, whereas the others had finished. So you don't want to be seen to cancel a show before it's even finished its run. So they had to hold off for Naomi. Which was, even in its first season, half season as well. So it didn't even get a full first season. Was performing, overall, it was technically doing slightly better than Batwoman, but it wasn't. It was doing much worse because it started off with a couple of episodes and then just fell off a cliff. And so it was doing absolutely appallingly. So literally, as soon as the season finale finished, I think the final credit just went... David just went immediately onto the screen, just looked at the camera, went, cancelled.
Good.
And then eventually, that's a weird way of doing it. But
Eventually you run out of other people's money, and in this case the other people's money would be the shareholders' money. And at the end of the day, that's the thing about this ESG score driven entertainment. It's not just in this sector, it is in every other sector. People who follow that methodology, their profits are down. And large institutional investors that have invested in this scheme, they are seeing net losses across the board. So we see it, I think, in our pop culture because it hits home with so many of the things that we love in our fandoms. But believe me, there are other people in banking who are going, what the hell are you doing? I just want my money. I don't want to hear about your politics. So they're doing the same thing, just maybe not in the same ways that we are. Hail to you, Paul Wolfley. Go ahead.
I'm really wondering if this is going to transfer over to the comic books now too, because if these decisions have been made, like you said, as where that last credit rolls and then they cancel that because they know what is going to bring money and what isn't. I just don't think that comics are bringing in enough money for him to even consider taking a look at this point to say, listen, let's just get rid of the whole comic thing altogether. Why do we even need it? Or he might look at it as a marketing thing and say, well, listen, if we have this comic thing, let's just use these as almost like open source pamphlets to kind of promote whatever shows we have on the CW or whatever, whatever we have going on. So I'm interested to see where the comics go. I don't think it's a priority for them, but I think within the next year, we're going to be seeing something within the comic book DC world that's either going to reflect the shows or it's going to go back to storytelling. But that's me being optimistic. Who knows?
I think it's you being very optimistic. Not trying to be crude, but comics, everyone's gay now. That's it. Just every freaking character in comics is gay. It's not like a representative element. It's not like a slightly exaggerated. No. Every bloody character is. Superman is. Robin is, Catwoman is, Harley Quinn is, Poison Ivy is, Cyclops is, Wolverine is. Every single solitary character now is gay in comics. It doesn't provide the user with any interest because there's no stories that they can tell.
No,
there's no stories that they've told with gay characters that have utilized the fact that they're gay and been a prominent story, a main story, a major story, a story which people are talking about. The whole thing is they turn these characters gay. That's the end of this story.
Right.
The character is now gay. That's it. There's nowhere for them to go now. You get these like masculine characters. They go, now they're gay, and then they become very femmy, and they don't do anything. They just go around as if they're an extra from RuPaul's Drag Race. Comic book readers have got nothing to invest in anymore. Why would you buy a comic?
Do you think, or do we think, and this is open to everybody, because of the intersectional lens on this, where, we have to add the oppression score to this character. So the character has to already start out perfect. You only end up with a flat storyline. This character can have challenges. This character doesn't need to improve. This character doesn't need to get better at anything. Do we think
that's got nothing to do with being gay?
I agree. I'm just saying, from a story perspective, there's no 3-act because this character, because of this superficial quality, they happen to be gay. Like, I give a shit, what I want to see is a good character, like you're saying, and that's why we can't see good stories, because they cannot even vaguely approach any of the steps to the hero's journey. And I think in comic books, especially,
the writers in the comic book industry now, they're dog shit. And it's not just like me trying to throw shade. No, these are literally bottom of the barrel writers who are getting paid peanuts, and they're getting paid peanuts because they're not making money. The industry's not making anything whatsoever. So they hire these peanut activists to write their comics, who literally have the brain cell of a melted 3-year-old, and then they're just like, I like this and then they put it out on the shelves. They like take some ink and go, and then wipe it on the page, and then they put it out there, and then they go, hey, why aren't you supporting alphabet community content creators? Why aren't you doing that? Hey, I just, I am getting Eisners. I'm getting lauded and by my peers here who are just saying I'm doing everything amazing. you know, the kind of amazing thing you say to a 2-year-old when they start drawing all over your fucking bedroom wall and you really want to kill them. But you gotta say, because it's a kid and they don't really know what they're doing. It's not their fault, but it's your, you know, that fucking wallpaper cost me money. And but you gotta say, oh, that's great. Why don't you do it over there? You know, on your fucking wall instead. But no, that's what they're actually doing with the industry. Apart from your Jim Lees and all that lot of the ones that are patting on the head and saying, "Oh, you're doing great. You're doing amazing." By the way, start that GoFundMe so you can eat this month because you're getting paid $50 a page on a comic that no one's reading. So you know the comic industry's done. It's dusted. You're not getting any stories anymore from the comic book industry, and this is why we're seeing with the Marvel. We're seeing Ironheart and Kate Bishop and all these characters being pushed in because these were created by the activists, and the activists need to get paid. So all their activist buddies are now bringing in their intersectional characters so they can get the credit, so they can get paid from Marvel, so they can get paid from Disney. It's not about
No, in that new character, I saw this. It was apparently the first trans superhero. So apparently, it can not only have multiple personalities but multiple identities.
That's amazing. I can't wait not to buy that comic.
I know, and then to piggyback off of it for Phase 5, for Marvel Phase 5, Feige has seemed to drop that it's going to be very trans representative. So I mean, you can just connect the dots here. It's not a conspiracy theory. They're going to create another generation of
what's
crap.
the percentage of trans people in the world?
2-3%.
Wrong. It's about 0.00000000001. That's the realistic.
Exactly.
Right. Now there's a bunch of fucking people on Twitter that are going, I'm trans, who are going to be in 5 years' time married with 2 kids.
True.
Okay? It's a trend. It's a trend for young people because they're being pushed into it by intersectional ideology. So the actual true number is somewhere in the region of lots of noughts and a 1. So that's the actual worldwide number of trans people. How many of those trans people read comics? Suddenly you've gone from a 0.00001 to a 0.0000000000001.
So you're saying there's some readers than us?
Yeah, there's hope. There's hope
so
for the comic.
There's a chance.
I think I'm being generous, okay?
You are.
I'm being really generous with these statistics. So out of those comic readers, how many of them are going to actually buy your comic? Then it becomes a 0.00000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000
Somebody reboot us. I think he's got stuck.
Not one is your target audience.
Yes.
But then they have to buy it and read it.
99.99999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999. This has gone a bit Nazi-ish.
I was gonna say.
And Nas has just cancelled himself yet again.
Who were there just going, I'll go put my money somewhere else. I'll go buy something else. I'll go buy a video game. I'll go buy some
independent comics.
I'll go buy a DVD. I'll go do something else. I'll take my money. I'll go elsewhere.
I've got to get to this super chat before Zaxx really does kill me. Zaxx, pull that one up from Ticker 610, please, if you don't mind. And there it is. You've been very patient, Taker 610. This is for $10. Thank you. Says, as in The Hobbit, an unexpected and quickly canceled journey, because F that, where's my wine? Has Halo proves we don't know a person's character until we've seen all 4 of their cheeks. Hail to you, Taker 610. Let me go ahead and give you a quick video for that one.
You should have stayed dead.
Okay. Okay. Let me also get on this one really quick. This is from Man O War 665, the neighbor of the beast. For $6.65 says, actual honest to God ROIs are coming due, return on investments. Coupled with the current state of the economy, the false profits of ESG investing never yield what's promised. It's true. It's
No,
it's
it's
kind
not.
of
Gillette
okay.
lost $8 billion off its stock price.
It's true. There was
ESG investment.
Yay. Let me give you this. Let me give you this super chat video. This one's for you. ESG investing.
That's Calvin Klein running into a wall of pain.
It's true. I never thought that I would see a lot of the crazy stuff that we're seeing trying to be normalized, trying to be rationalized. To see a Calvin Klein ad, and this is the stuff when I was a kid in the 80s where you had hot chicks wearing jeans, I mean, and you had unattainably handsome guys wearing jeans, and it was this unattainable standard. Now it just looks like some type of bizarre science experiment, and I don't know if I've seen anything more repulsive trying to be put out from a marketing perspective in my life. Now, is that unfair, you guys? I mean, am I missing something here?
I don't know whether it's repulsive, but it does seem to be everybody, they're trying to level the playing field. So whereas we used to have very attractive people, people that you could kind of look up to and aspire to, now we've got very, I would say, ordinary people, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you should not be kind of glamorizing people who are morbidly obese, for example. It's a terrible message to put out there.
I kind of meant the pregnant guy.
Yes, that as well. Yeah, but no,
well, it's the same premise though. I mean, that's I put out a tweet yesterday, the day before. I said this is not celebrating difference. This is exploiting mental illness.
Yes, it is,
and that is just mental illness for all to display right there. I'm sick and tired of pretending it's not, because it is.
I agree. That's why
I'm sick and tired of the left trying to make a liar out of me, and I won't play these silly games. This is done for other. They know they're not going to get sales for this. This is done for no other factor than to shock, make people think of Calvin Klein, put it into the public mind for however short a period it will be. But you are exploiting somebody who needs psychological help. A lot of psychological help as well.
Agreed. And once the narrative is stopped as being believed, that's when the force starts. That's when the violence of different kinds starts. We're certainly seeing that with the Lord of the Rings of Power, and I did a video on it yesterday. A lot of people have, where they have failed in every round of narrative creation that they have. Let me say hello to a good friend of this channel, Brightest Day. Did my very first live stream with Zaxx for $2. Says Zaxx says uncover Zaxx. How you doing down there, Zaxx? I know you're having some audio issues. Oh, you're good. You're good.
I'm good. Yeah. All right. Good. I'm alive.
Good.
I'm happy I'm here. Thank you.
I love that background, Zaxx. Those masks are amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think we're through the woods yet on this crazy ESG score, batshit crazy marketing stuff, with our entertainment and also with Calvin Klein. I mean, what's next? Legitimately, I don't think there's really anything off the table. And Disney's made no secret of what their agenda is going to be involving children. We'll just say that. Let me get to this super chat real quick. This is from Thunder Sensei 150, has been with this channel a very long time. Thank you very much. This is for $4.99. Says, firstly, it's my birthday. Secondly, does anyone else miss Superman being the big blue Boy Scout? Because to be honest, I don't want him jumping out of my cake. Well, hail to you, Thunder Sensei 150. Who would you like to have? Do you want me to sing happy birthday? Maybe Purple? Do we want Purple? May I impose upon you happy birthday singing skills, please?
Sure, but I will say, if he doesn't want Henry Cavill of doesn't want him drink everyone jumping out of the cake, I'll take him. But okay.
So will I, because he's got Warhammer figures, so I'll take those off.
So let me say happy birthday to the Sensei sweetheart. So happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Thunder Sensei. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Thunder Sensei.
I sent Amber Heard round to shit on your bed.
Double bonus time. That's why you should become a member of my channel. We can make things like that happen. It's actually a kind of magic. So yeah, you know, are we getting through this phase? Where do we think we are? Where do you think we are in this cycle of all of this trash entertainment, with these cancellations, with the intersectionality, with the forced representation? Obviously coming on the horizon is what everyone's been talking about for quite a while, which is the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power. We now have them, in my opinion, co-opting established Tolkien fan sites to do their dirty work, and that didn't work for 5 minutes. So, you know, where do we think we're at with all this? As how long do you think? Is it going to be 5 years? Is it going to be until the nuclear apocalypse, and then we start doing, you know, sock puppets and the radioactive wastes? When is this going to change?
Well, the funny thing particularly about the Rings of Power is that every shill site, every shill person that's gone and come back and gone, oh, it's great, nobody's bought into it. Nobody's bought into it at all. And it's so funny because I think OneRing.net put out a tweet the other day going, oh, don't worry about all the negative stuff you're hearing about Rings of Power. It's the algorithm. It's the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
Stand firm, everybody. You know, and hold on. The check's cleared. Stand firm, everyone. Just stand firm. So it's funny because these sites are telling us what to believe based off what they say, not what we've seen. And what we've seen so far is a trailer. That's what you've seen so far. I've seen substantially more than just one trailer. In actual fact, I've seen substantially more than these shills that have just come back from London. And why is that? Because there are people inside of Rings of Power that are fucking disgusted with the show. That's why. And so the narrative is that people are starting to at least be brave enough to do something. Now, whether it be behind the scenes, whether it be vocally, at least they're speaking out. But a lot of these shows that are airing, look, we've just had a Marvel movie come out called Mum. It is Multiverse of Madness, Mom. And it's called Mom because it's Wanda, and Wanda wants to be a mom. It's literally Doctor Strange to Mom. Yeah. That's how fucking intersectional it's got now. And the film, of course, was all about Wanda, and it's all about Wanda wanting to fucking get fake children because she's fucked in the head. But they instead of trying to make it a villain and trying to make it somebody that's actually doing a bad thing, they try and turn it into something sympathetic, which doesn't work because you're killing a bunch of people. Anyway, that's just by the by. But all these things have been made. These things are all made. They're in the can. They've been made for a long time. Yeah. Cassian Andor, that's done. They found it ages ago. It's been filmed. It's been finished for like 18 months, and we've still got to wait for that disaster to come. Ms. Marvel's still to come. That had to get reshot a ton because the first lot, Bishop K.I. Lee, just up completely. Wow. And they still don't even think they've saved the show. The people from behind it, you know, we've known some people behind the scenes who worked on that show. And they're just like, it's fucking part of shit. It's part of shit. And that's coming out. And then we've got Ironheart coming out. All of these shows, they're in the can. They're done. They're dusted. They even the CW, you can celebrate the fact that a lot of woke shows have been cancelled. But we've just had an order put through for Gotham Knights. There's based on a Gotham Knights game that's incoming, a Gotham Knights game that's being helmed by a massive SJW, massive. And the show on the CW that's going to be based on the TV show made by the massive SJW has got the Batwoman writers writing it. A show that's just been cancelled for being dog shit.
Are you sure they're not just money laundering at this point?
I know.
The incomprehensibly badly written show and put those writers onto our new project. And then instead of actually announcing fun things, what have we heard? We've cast this character that you've probably never heard of, but they're part of the alphabet community. So thumbs up, everyone.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, it's going to be a disaster of a show. It's going to be a mitigated disaster. And that's going to come out. And because it's going to have representation, then they're going to back it for at least another season, probably, or at least give it a full first season order. And because that's the only reason why Batwoman got a third season, was because they couldn't cancel the show where they've just turned the lead from a white female to a black female. So now instead of just having a white bisexual woman, now they had a black bisexual woman. So they had two layers of what they thought were defenses against criticism. So they actually renewed Batwoman for a third season after the second or third episode of season 2.
I remember
season 2, which started off to some of the worst ratings and dropped off massively from season 1 even. So it was showing that it was massively underperforming. But hey, you know, we need to support the ideology. So look, there's a ton of ideology still out there, which we've still got to absorb. It's coming, and all I can say is people got to wake up. If you want your entertainment back, if you want, you know, even a half decent show like a Reacher, which was a good show, you know, not an Oscar-winning show to me. It's not gonna, you know, but it was a good, solid show. It's the kind of show that I would have sat down and watched in my youth, you know, in my 20s, etc. If you want shows like that, which are just normal, you know, then you got to start fighting for normality again instead of pandering to ideology. And the more that you pander, and the more that you are too scared to speak up against bloody weirdos, the more you're going to get this shit, and the more they're going to push for extra on top of it, because it's never going to be enough. And I don't know. Recently, I'm trying to think of the example, but there was an example recently where it's never enough. If you have a singular representation, you need 2 representations. If you get 2 representations, it's got to be 3. Why isn't there a third representation? You get 3 representations. Well, there's 3, but you're not bringing in the 4th representation. It's never enough. This is a game which doesn't have a win. There's no win. It doesn't end until everything's been co-opted. And then once everything's co-opted, then it becomes a battle internally of which trumps what. So that's what we're going to get. That's what we will continue to get if people don't stop fucking watching this stuff. If people don't stop going to the cinema, you know, you can go to the cinema and buy a ticket for a film. It doesn't have to be the film that you're going to watch.
Yeah,
you can buy a ticket for a movie. But yeah, I think we've got it for a while yet.
Agreed. I am going to get stabbed by the Canadian man with those spooky ass masks on the bottom of the screen if I don't get to these super chats. And you think I'm kidding? This is from Vec Rattleheading for 40 Indian rupees, says the big gay EFAP was right. Let's get on to the next one, Zaxx, if you've got it pulled up. And the next super chat we have, this is a Man of War 665. There it is. Neighbor of the Beast. Hail to you, brother. Neighbor of the Beast. For 665 says, also, guys, keep an eye on Az. Always starts off, oh boy. Always starts off innocently enough. Next thing you know, it's paintbrush sucking in dark alleys for more plastic crack. Hail to you. Az, do you have any type of an excuse or justification for the plastic crack addiction, my friend?
No, I'll fucking swallow for it.
Whoa! You heard it here first. You're lonely.
Say, it sounds like a good Saturday night to me.
Let's go ahead and get on to the next one. I will do a mass video just because I want to be respectful of everyone's time. This is from Lyle Hammock, and again, a good friend of this channel. Hail to you, Lyle. Hail to your wife, and hail to the little hammock for $20 US. Says, I have to say, before I leave, that is it any wonder Demon Slayer almost outsold the entire US comic industry, and manga anime are destroying comics. Also, Az, any plans to review The Boys? Personally, I dipped out during the last season. Hail.
I actually think Demon Slayer did outsell the whole of the American comic book industry. So did There was 2 more. I think there was one Punch
Berserk?
One
Man.
Piece or One Punch Man.
Maybe One Piece or One Punch Man, and then I think there was a new like ninja one as well. That all of them outsold the American comic book industry, which is hilarious, and that's why the comic book industry in America is feigning that it's doing fine, because it's just like, look, comic sales are up. What are people talking about? But if you look at the actual sales, it's because they've introduced manga and Scholastic into it. But if you look at actual American floppy sales, DC, Marvel, and independent, they're down. They're all down. It's manga which is making that industry look as if it's okay. As regards to The Boys, I really enjoyed season 1 of The Boys. I hadn't read the comics. I do have quite a few of the comics now, but I did enjoy the first season. I thought the second season was shit. Absolute shit. And I really like Jensen Ackles, and I don't think I can watch season 3. I can't watch them massacre my boy doing Soldier Boy. And no, I'm gonna let Eric Kripke go through his Trump meltdown, even though he hasn't been in power for 2 years. 2 years, you crazy fuck!
I know. That's all they got. That's all they got.
It's all they've got. Yeah, it is though. That's all they have, because they can't dare point a finger at themselves and say, "Hey, look, well, we're making mistakes. Look, well, we've got to tighten up." No, let's just have a man with clear dementia run America, who shakes hands with thin air. Better than mean tweets. Am I right? So no, I can't. I'm so out of Boys after season 2. It was like the message is like, hey, look, we're taking the piss out of women get things done, but seriously, women do get things done.
I didn't finish watching the last season of The Expanse, and that is a show I loved. I loved that damn show. I suffered through that season before last, where we had Naomi forever stuck trying to breathe, and we never saw, Holden. We didn't see the characters that we loved. And this season, I made it about 5 minutes when I had to hear about how there were too many people on the planet and climate change. And I'm like, you can kiss my ass. Like, I don't want this. I don't need this. I just want a good science fiction show. And let's go, Brandon, guys. So let's do one more super chat, Zaxx, that you want to pull up real quick, because I know they are backlogged. And there we go. This is good to see again from Lyle Hammock. Hail to you for another $10. Thank you. Says, as you really come on and crush my hope for the rings of power, you deserve to view that woman on a loop for the rest of your life.
Oof.
Hey, look!
Thanks for bringing this up. Jesus Christ,
if you
I'm
want to
fire you.
If you want to watch a soap opera, okay, a melodramatic soap opera that's set in the realm of Lord of the Rings, this show's for you.
Shit, it is.
Because this is what the show is so far.
It's Wheel of Time. This is what I've been saying since November. Wheel of Time was the testing ground to bring CW level trash.
Do you know how the first episode starts?
Two trannies boning each other.
Better than I got.
Oh, sorry. Okay, maybe that was a wrong video. Yeah. Okay,
it starts off with Galadriel getting bullied by boys as a kid. Because that's the message that we're going to start the show off with.
Men are either stupid or evil, just like Wheel of Time. Same thing.
Man, bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow, Payne and McKay, you hacks. And all of those Tolkien fan sites that sold their soul for this in our... I'm going to just...
in Middle-earth.
Are there big shoulder pads like 80s chicks had with the big hair, though? Do we get that?
No, but there's plenty of intersectional feminism.
Oh well, that's
awesome.
Even better. Thank you. That's even better.
Can't wait.
Let me do this super chat. Let me do this super chat because, as they say, this is proper money. This is for 25 pounds. Cheers. Streaming insulates. Oh, you guys are killing me with the pop-ups. Streaming insulates these poorly received shows from financial consequences, and admitting their viewership is not Also, as got a scoop about Tennant and Doctor Who 60th. We'll tell you later. Hail to you, Ian, so forth. You have a response for that, as?
I love Ian. Ian is way too generous and way too nice a guy to massacre. But I'm tempted.
He joined my channel, and I can just say this fellowship is wonderful. I'm meeting a lot of fantastic people. You all are so generous with your time and your comments and your likes, and thank you all for being here, and thank you for helping make my channel. I never thought I'd be at 2,200 subs, and I'm very grateful to you all. I'm going to give a blanket video for everybody, just a super chat video. This one's one of my favorites.
For Frodo.
Nice.
I was going to go on. I was going to wax poetic about quiet dignity, and then I realized I have Az on the show, so fuck. I can't do that. Yeah. It's interesting. I guess I'm not surprised by what you're saying, Az, about the Rings of Power. It's just the fact that they did it again. They took the Wheel of Time. This is CW soap opera light crap, and now, making it about intersectional victimhood. Yeah, Tolkien would have loved this. Other minds, other hands, right? God.
So, Az, let me ask you this, and maybe I can pose the question to the chat and the panel as well. But because you had mentioned something earlier that I thought was really interesting, basically saying that we need kind of this mass exodus of people to say, either to close their wallet, to say no, or to quote unquote wake up and be able to see kind of like what's going on. Is there something in your mind that you think, like, is there one thing, or is it going to have to be a span of maybe years, excuse me, that we see good quality product to kind of start to turn the tide? Or is it going to be one person standing up and like kind of standing their ground and going, this is what we need, and then starting to create from that? Is there something that you think that we might see? And I know that's a difficult question because of just how much bad stuff we're getting. But I don't know, man, because there has to be that pendulum swing back. I just don't know where that starts, though.
You can't change programming until you change public perception.
Yeah,
that's the thing that has to change the first and the foremost before anything. And the people need to start. I know it's such a simple thing to say, and it is a very complicated question, but people need to start saying no again. They need to stop being afraid of saying no. They need not be afraid of saying no. They need to stop being afraid of backing down every time somebody throws what we as normal people would deem to be a word which doesn't associate with us. Like when, we joke about Nazism and white supremacy and all that stuff. And the reason why we joke about it is because they've turned it into a meme themselves without even knowing it, because the left can't meme. So they've turned it into a meme because the people, I think, who are more central and to the push to the right do know what I mean. But the thing, because we've been called white, I don't like this character. Oh, you don't like them? You're a white supremacist or a Nazi. That is the most absurd thing that you can say. If you just think about it for half a second, it's ridiculous. It's a joke. And people that say things like that should be treated like they are, like the jokes that they are.
Agreed.
So when you disagree with something because you don't like it, let's just use Lord of the Rings because that's what's been used a lot today. Tolkien had a very specific world, very detailed world, which he spent a vast proportion of his life documenting and piecing together for some fucking bint in the current day saying, well, it lacks diversity and representation. And hi, stupid bint. It's called fantasy, right? This is a fantasy world. This is not reality. This is a fantasy world which has its fantasy rules based off Middle Age, Anglo-Saxon, history, law, whatever you want to, whichever way you want to pop it. And so, no, you wouldn't have a corner shop owned by a flipping Indian guy in Lord of the fucking Ring. It doesn't work that way. So you have your very specific races in the very specific demographics and their very specific geography areas.
That word, yeah.
Because that's the word. That's the word.
Yeah.
That's the way it's created. It's not meant as a racism. It's not meant as a push in white supremacy. It's just how history used to be. And if you see, it's not just fantasy that's trying to be co-opted, it's literal history which is being co-opted.
Well, we also
Black Anne Boleyn, black Viking, female Vikings. This is nonsense and this is polarity. And people have got to look at things like that and start saying, stop it. And when people try and gaslight you with saying, well, we turned Anne Boleyn a historical character. We turned her black because it's just more relatable to young people today. That is crazy. That is some stupid person trying to gaslight to put in an ideological aspect. And it's just like, no, this is history.
Yes.
And people don't gravitate towards color. And people don't gravitate necessarily towards sex, gender either. They gravitate towards character and what's actually inside of that character. You can go back to 1970s. We gravitated towards Ripley in Alien because Ripley wasn't, a strong woman. She wasn't a strong woman. She was a very vulnerable woman, but she was a very stalwart. She knew her job. She was very relatable because she did have that emotional element. There were moments where she did break down and cry because she's not, I'm wham and hear me roar. She's a human being.
Very motherly too.
Relate to she wanted to save the cat. That's kind of like a motherly instinct to save the small little vulnerable animal in the area. But she was a human being first and foremost. So guys didn't care that she was female. What they saw was a very well constructed human with relatable characteristics, whether you be male or female. And then characteristics like this went into other characters throughout the years, and now we're being told, oh no, now we're having females and literally having them swapped to men, and men being swapped to women. So now men are weak. I'm not saying women are weak. I'm talking like physically, you're having 100-pound women beat up 200-pound men. It's not. I mean, I don't want to bring the ugly truth, but if that man punched her in the face, it's over.
Oh yeah, you're not getting up from that. It's simple physics. It's simple physics.
But we've got to pretend now that they can that they're able to do this. We've got to give them masculine characteristics because femininity is now perceived as a weakness when femininity is not a weakness at all.
And the thing about it is the masculinity that they're applying to these women is not the mature.
With men.
It's not masculine. It's not the mature masculine. It's not what you'd see in an adult man. It is petulant 14-year-old teenage boy masculinity. It's sarcastic. It overpromises, underdelivers, and it's all just based on essentially being a proto-bully and taking these characteristics that they seem to say are toxic masculinity and putting them onto women. And that's why, to me, a lot of these female characters are.
But there's no such thing as toxic masculinity.
I agree.
Is a lie. It's masculinity. They put the word toxic in front of it to try and make masculinity an evil buzzword now. No,
I agree.
They're afraid of masculinity. If you saw yesterday on Twitter, there were some blue check marks waffling on about Trump supporters because they made that MAGA king. Biden called him the MAGA king, and everyone's and people who support Trump are just like, fuck yeah, cheers Biden, that's great.
I know, I want that t-shirt. I want the t-shirt, seriously.
The people that's just like, oh, these people, they're just like hyper masculine, and I'm like, boom, you've just outed yourself at what you're afraid of. And you're afraid of masculinity because you're afraid of people standing up to you. And you're afraid of exactly what happens now is when people go, no.
Yeah.
And they're not bullied by your white supremacy or by your racism or this or you're sexist, you're a misogynist, you're a this, you're a that. Doesn't matter to them. They just turn around and laugh at you.
Well, we've also got the flip side. If you do support something great like the Northmen, you also get called the names. So
That's where that's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So
It-
how the hell
it-
do you win?
if you dare be historically accurate and you dare stick to the actual way that things were in history, especially those that required men to be warriors, and women were warriors too, but they went out of their way to attack an art house film done by a Hollywood leftist golden boy to just attack these archetypes that they're so afraid of. They don't want people to resonate with strong men in movies. They don't.
Well, they even said that the director himself looked like he was probably on the right just because of how he looked, which
Yeah, he had
could be
short hair.
further from the
He had
truth.
short hair. So this makes you a Nazi. This makes you okay. I mean, that's literally what we're talking about here. Is these superficial qualities? They're literally seeing the world through this lens of tick box, tick box, tick box, and it's disgusting and it's crazy, and it's why we're rejecting this entertainment. Let's go ahead and do some of these super chats while Az is busy mixing us all martinis and making us lunch in the background, guys. So, what you got there, Zaxx?
Okay. I was unprepared for that throw, but here we go.
All right, so, no,
Gotcha,
okay.
gotcha. You're good.
All right, roger that. This is a Lyle, it's a $50 super chat. Thank you. Thank you for being such a supporter of this channel. Says, well, at least if Az is right, you all will lend me a shoulder to cry on. Yes, even you, Zaxx. But this breaks my heart. I just wanted some more Lord of the Rings. We all did. None of us wanted this to fail. None of the people on this panel wanted this to suck. I don't think anybody in this fellowship wanted this to suck.
No.
He says, but I guess it's too much. I'll pour one out for a story I named my daughter for. And how does it end, Zaxx?
Back to work is what he says.
Oh, okay. And says back to work. So yeah, Lyle Hammock named his daughter after a queen from the Second Age, if I remember correctly. And Lyle, I'm going to say this, and we've talked about this on my live streams, is what they're doing to these properties is meant to disenfranchise us. It's meant to divide the fandom. It's meant for us to have these conversations of race. That's why, if you remember, when they dropped the Vanity Fair article back on February 10th, what is the first thing they did? They attacked us and called us racists. Now, who were they? That would be Payne and McKay. Payne and McKay, the same people who paid to have all of these Tolkien influencers flown out, all expenses paid, to go to London to meet with Payne and McKay and tell us how Payne and McKay are the nicest people and they only have Tolkien's best interests at heart. No one addressed the fact that they called us all racists and ists and phobes. You guys remember that? Yeah,
People who write Star Trek Beyond shouldn't throw stones in glass.
Agreed. Well, not only that, I mean, look at who they have as who they brought in to help write some of these episodes. You have a writer from the CBS Paramount show Hawaii Five-0. You have a writer of Toy Story 4. And then you have the writer and editorial content director of Star Trek Discovery. That is who the Rings of Power brought in.
I think it's interesting that there's that meme going around right now that it has the two guys talking and they're like, Lord of the Rings is a great legendarium, it's something beautiful. And the other guy goes, yep, I like the Lord of the Rings. And then it's the activist SJW that goes, Tolkien is a racist and we need to change this to modern times. And then they go, when did you get here? Like, why are you here? Where did you come from? And then they go, you're toxic fans because you don't. It's like, this only became toxic once you got here. Everyone was fine with this whole thing. Everyone loved the books, the movies, and there were people that had, there will always be people that will be upset with how PJ adapted some of the lines, and or how he decided to take some of the characters out or put characters in. But a majority of the Lord of the Rings fans thought this as sacred. It was sacred ground. It was untouchable until we got the activists and the SJWs coming into this space here and just saying, well, you're wrong for liking that. And then when we go, hey, why are we the ones that are bad? They continue to point the finger. And that's when things got toxic. So the only reason why toxic fans are a thing now is, because of what we saw with Star Wars is now going to happen with Lord of the Rings because of
They're
the
already doing it.
infiltration of it. Yeah.
They're already doing it. They're already calling us toxic Tolkien fans on that live stream again. Fellowship of the Fans.
Projection. It's projection of the highest order.
And it's also meant to shame us, because within their circles, shame and labeling is how they interact with one another. And they think the rest of the world looks at it this way. I need to get to the super chat. This is from, oh boy, here we go. Andre, thank you. I was going to be close. Thank you, Az. This is for 50 Czechoslovakian Corona, I believe. Says, hello, I just noticed this stream, and the first thing I see is Az speaking angrily in German.
9!
There we go. Hail to you. And let's do one more super chat. I'll pull this one up. This one's from Daniel, good friend of this channel, for $10 says, Johnny Lawrence taught us that in battle you hammer the weak point of your opponent. We can't injure a company as massive as Amazon, but we can mock and shame the shills Amazon paid. Make them weep. Good point. Don't back down. And as that's what you've been saying, is we have to keep being vocal. I'm seeing a lot of normies that would never come to my channel, and I'm nobody, I'm a small channel, starting to say, thank you for saying these things. I'm so angry. And not only that, but from around the globe, people from India, people from Indonesia, from Africa, from South America, all coming on and saying, I am this ethnicity, I am this gender, I am this sexuality. I don't want it in my Lord of the Rings. And this is coming from people around the globe,
It's a complete fabricated misconception that this is a white thing. These are people from all around the world. These are fans. Fandom has always been inclusive, always. When I just before I nipped to empty my bladder of urine.
I thought you were making pancakes. I thought you said pancakes, Az. Come on.
Purple Valkyrie mentioned the Northman. If the Northman was made 12 years ago, nobody would say a word. Nobody would say a word about it.
No.
But now it's been made in 2022. The thing is, they're not mad that it's just full of white people. That is a misnomer. They're mad because it's historically accurate in terms of the representation. Not what the representation is. It's because revisionist history can't be utilized in this occasion. And whenever I went, because I've been a massive nerd for a long time, and whenever I went to comic book conventions and these sort of things, you would just see a plethora of everybody from all walks of life. And what you would do, you'd be at a comic stand and you'd be looking through some comic boxes, and then somebody would be next to you. It didn't really matter who was next to you. And if you saw that they were fanning through something that you quite like, normally one of you or the other would just go, oh, if you haven't read that, you should read that story. And normally you'd spark a conversation, and you'd be like, oh yeah, and blah, 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 blah. And that's how fandom used to be. The thing that most people used to get irritated about in fandom was, who's better, Kirk or Picard?
Oh yeah,
those were the arguments that we used to have. Oh, you're crazy if you think that Kirk isn't the best captain of all. You're just such a normie with your new.
But that was good-natured debating. That was fun against fan. Yes.
Exactly. And then ideology came in, and intersectionality came in, and victimhood came in, and suddenly everyone who had been enjoying fandom was suddenly being told, "Oh, you are being pushed down. You are being repressed by these other people within your fandom. Let us sort it out for you. We'll be your voice. This voice which didn't even need to exist in any way, shape, or form." So I was one who was initially like, never gatekeep, allow everyone in, and I'm just like, no, fuck this. Gatekeep to your heart's content now. Keep the fucking weirdos out. We don't care what you are. We don't care if you're white, black, gray, bloody burnt sienna, magenta. Don't care if you're gay, you're straight, you're twisting around. Don't care. What we care about is if you love the franchise.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
it
we care
was
about.
like that in the 80s too. It was like that in the mid 80s. We played with a diverse group of people, and I was in small town blue collar America. When we had people who were refugees from the Vietnam War who got settled in my city, they wanted to play D&D with us, you know. And we had girls, and we had other ethnicities.
You're girls, Salty?
Girls.
Girls?
I'm no biologist, but I'm pretty sure they were girls because they had boobies, you know. So although that doesn't mean anything now.
Yeah,
But in the 80s, our women had boobs, and that's just how it was. So sorry, we're not going to revise that history.
Men were men and women were women.
It's
Yep.
true, and the hair was big, and the music was good. Yeah, ladies. I didn't have a point to that. I was just.
No, you had 2 points, but thank you.
Yeah.
You had me at boobs.
I know. I just thought about boobs, and it just went. Let's do a super chat. Speaking of things I like to put my.
There you go.
On. There we go. The Thad that shouldn't be super chat for $10 says swinging pendulums, the incorrect analogy. I love you, Matt. Never change. Never change, man. It's about shifting tides in tidal waves. Finally, corporations and governments are being forced to stop spending money on this woke Marxist fungus growing all over us. Hail to you, a channel member of mine, one of my channels of Aaron. Hail to you, Matt. And this is from Brandon, the anime guy. And here come the anime suggestions for $5. Says, read Demon Slayer and read Spy X Family. Watch Demon Slayer and Spy X Family. Anime guy approved. Hail to you, Brandon. Never change, my dude. So, oh, and Zaxx is bound and determined to have me read all of these super chats. So, this is for $5. Says best way back is to provide alternative content that's better and put woke crap out of business. Normies follow the wind. When it blows our way, they'll follow. That's from Jason F. Hail to you. I think that's a good sentiment. Mm-hmm. You know, the problem is, and we've talked about this, is they have the corporations. They have a monopoly on creating narratives. They truly do, especially in the case of Disney, Netflix, Amazon. It's just when all of the same entertainment, regardless of the platform, essentially contains the same messaging, that to me seems more than just a little bit of a coincidence. It would be great if we could have some more grassroots stuff. Do you see anything, or is there anything out there that has sparked your interest, whether it be indie comics or indie productions, that maybe would relate to what that super chat said? Is there anything out there that you can reference?
I don't know. It's a tough one right now, because the actual, I don't know what to call them in America, networks, I guess.
Oh,
the actual networks in America are all leaning left.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing really that's coming through. You know, you get a gem like Reacher on Netflix, on Amazon Prime. But as regards to Netflix, I'm watching Korean stuff right now, and yes. I'm watching TNG, a replay of TNG. I'm just about to go into the end of season 3 now.
Oh,
and I you know, you can debate. These are the debates you used to have. But is season 3 of Next Generation the best season of TV?
Exactly. Yeah.
I think it's possibly the best season of TV ever made. It is a humdinger after a humdinger after a humdinger in that season. And so I'm watching that, but I'm watching Korean stuff. You know, I've gone through Squid Game, I've gone through Hellbound, I've gone through Silent Sea, I've gone through which is Japanese, but I've gone through Alice in Borderland, which is Japanese. I've also gone through another Korean show, No Name or My Name, No Name or My Name, plus another. So there's you know, and that stuff's great because that stuff is just for entertainment. And you know, where's all the complaints about? Well, it's just fun of Korean people. You know,
yeah, we talked about that one before. We talked about that.
That will come one day. But hopefully, these, you know, South Korea and Japan will just turn around and go, hey, fuck off.
They kind of are, if we're honest about it. They kind of are. They're like, we like money and kiss my ass. Let me do this.
Well, Square just sold off their US company, so yeah, they sold off Marvel. You know, the people at Crystal Dynamics who made the Marvel game, and all the Marvel games ended up losing Square Enix $200 million. And again, that was another base and switch, wasn't it? You know, Square Enix are releasing Marvel's Avengers. Here's Captain America. Here's Iron Man. Oh, something's going on. Has Captain America died? What's going on? This is a mystery. And then 6 months later, Ms. Marvel's the main character.
I remember that.
And people were like, what? No, I'm out. So that one ended up, I think that game itself lost them in somewhere in the region of $50 to $60 million. So yay for that. But yeah, I'm just watching stuff which I just want to be entertained. You know, I don't care where it comes from. I don't care if it's subtitled, non-subtitled. I don't care what country it's from. I just want to be entertained. And fortunately for us, Korea's producing some really good stuff right now. And I have really enjoyed. Yes, but in the West, I mean, you tell me.
I know. We were talking about the Outer Range, and I expected, it's on Amazon. I expected the whole show for that, the rug pull. You know what I mean? Where it goes from like, okay, we're going to pretend to, yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah. It didn't happen. It was just a good story. And even the characters that you go, oh, well, she's in there because she's gay and she's this and she's that. Yep. Another character, actually, that's her wife, calls her out for doing stuff like that in the show. And
yes.
I can't recommend it enough. It's set in one of the most beautiful parts of North America, in my opinion, Wyoming. I love it there, in the mountains and the ranges and everything. And but it's just a really good show. And it was almost like going back to the 90s and watching entertainment that wasn't smart shit. You know, I mean, let me get to this super chat. Psycho Dwarf 9 dropping the law, dropping it here. So for $5 says, never met a bully bigger than a 45 caliber. Sheepdogs unite.
That'll take you out.
Yeah, every time when you absolutely positively don't want them to get up. It's true. And this one's from Carlos Batista for $5 said, I had some gay friends when I was in school. A lot were very masculine. I hate how woke make them all act like magical elves. I agree. I have gay friends, and some of them, seriously, they could like pick up my truck like with one. I mean, these dudes are ripped. They're brilliant. They're funny. They have women hanging off of them in ways that I am more than jealous about. And yet they are gay, and gay is like down the list. It's like 8 damn things down the list. It's not like, you know, it's not like Randy is just, I'm gay Randy. That's not what it is. It's Randy's an accountant. Randy used to play football. Randy loves this baseball team. Randy enjoys this thing. Randy's a great cook. Oh, and then also Randy's gay. And the problem with our entertainment is that if Randy was a character on these shows, Randy's just gay. Like there's nothing else. Like Randy's all about that ass. That's all Randy's about. And then the story never goes anywhere. You know? You keep dropping these super chats in.
The British 70s comedy show, you know, where they just everyone would be a stereotype. You know, every single character would be a stereotype. But that's essentially what they've regressed alphabet community characters to be now. They're just literally one-dimensional, completely absorbed by their sexuality, and that is it. They can't have anything else. It's insane. It's not a good representation.
And it's a sad testament as to how they look at the world. And, you know, one could say, and can you pull that up, that super chat from Michael Saylor? Yeah, it just, but I am so glad that I don't walk through life like that. And that I'm not a saint, but I'm really glad I grew up in the world where nobody cared what you told them that you were. They cared what you showed them you were. You didn't just get to say, I'm a writer on a show and I'm so fantastic and you have to listen to me. You have to actually, you were judged by your product, by what you did, by what kind of a person you were. And what have they told us about the meritocracy? Well, that's racism, right?
You take a show like TNG, right? And let's pull season 2 onwards, just as an example, because it just gets rid of Tasha Yar, because you know she was there for 1 season. So what you have is a black chief engineer, you have a black Klingon, you have a female lead doctor, a female head counselor, you have an android, you have a white captain and a white second in command. Geordi, how many times did Geordi speak about his color? Never.
I know.
To my recollection, not once. How many times did Geordie refer to his blindness as a handicap?
Yeah.
Never. The only times we ever saw Geordie in distress was when the visor was knocked away from him and he was trying to get it. Otherwise, we had, I think, one scene, which I think was actually in season 1. No, it was in season 2 because it was Dr. Pulaski.
That one.
It was in season 2 where she's talking about the pain that he goes through wearing the visor, and she's got this experimental, surgery which could maybe get the retinas to and that's the only time in 7 seasons. But Geordie's just like, no, I'd rather not. So he doesn't do that. Worf's color never comes into equation ever, whatsoever. Dr. Crusher. Yeah. Does anyone refer to demean Crusher because she's a female? No. Does anyone
I think there was one. I think there was one time where Picard walks in and says, "Hey tits, I need a shot," but maybe that's not the show.
I think that was the porn parody.
Okay, sorry, I get them mixed up. Sorry. Yeah,
again, same with Troy. These people are treated like characters. They're not treated like superficial, narcissistical elements which we have today. They're not a black man. They're a chief engineer. They're not a woman. They're the chief medical officer. Yeah. And that's because old Star Trek had a very specific chain of command. Mm-hmm. And people adhered to the chain of command. And people respected the chain of command. And in current Star Trek, chain of command doesn't exist. It's somebody, I've stolen this from somebody. I shouldn't say that because I want this to be mine because it's so good. But somebody yesterday said, it's friends in space. And it is. It's no one told me life was going to be on Enterprise. It's like that.
Keep going. That's brilliant.
I got nothing more.
Okay. Sorry.
Because there's no chain of command. Everyone's over emotional. Everyone speaks to each other with absolute, no respect whatsoever. Then they're hugging it out. And none of it makes a lick of sense. There isn't. You're not the chief this. You're not the chief that. You're that representation. Do you notice in Discovery that they segregated the whole crew? The whole crew managed to organically, as in far left ideology, segregate itself. The black characters moved off to their own little thing. The gay characters and the alphabet characters all moved over into their little segment, and then the rest of the cast, which they don't give a shit about. Because they don't develop any of them. They don't have any episodes to do with them. They don't do anything to show us who they really are. They've just got names.
Yeah, you couldn't name the bridge crew on Discovery.
I can't. I still can't.
No. Mikey
Burnham, Sarek, women.
The power of math, people, or whatever.
That's your difference. Is once upon a time we treat people. We treat people based off what they were. And the content of their character. We didn't base people off the color of the skin, their sexuality, their gender. Now we've regressed as a society, and it's the left that's regressed us, not the right. It's the left that's regressed us, and we don't need a pendulum swing in the opposite direction. We need a pendulum swing down to the middle. That's what we need. Because if we go back to the direction, then you get your 80s conservatives, which are again. Not what we want. We don't want that element because that's another sensorial element. That's another element of trying to quell speech and expression and all this kind of stuff. But it's just gone from one extreme to another extreme right now. And the people who are in our little fellowship or whatever you want to call it, we're made up of all kinds of people: black, white, female, men, gay, straight, blah blah blah. We've got a whole massive community, and it's just people who are brought together based on the franchises that we love, based off the geekdoms which we all get ourselves involved with, and I think more importantly, the fact that there's a commonsensical element that we can all see how stupid and crazy this element is, and you don't have to be white, black, gay, straight, whatever to understand that. You just need a brain cell.
Yeah, and an authentic love of the fandom. I mean, I remember when TNG was announced, everybody was really concerned what Patrick Stewart was going to do, because there was the impossible standard of Kirk. But when those characters came on screen, and we have to be honest about it, season 1 was rough sledding. I wasn't sure where the hell they were going to go with it.
I just watched it
You know?
recently. It's not as bad as people make it out.
Well, I mean, look at Modern Year, and it's better than anything Modern Year. But where I'm going with that is that nobody ever said, oh, look, there's Geordi. Thank God there's a black man in Star Trek. And thank God we have a female doctor. Nobody cared. And then we loved these characters because, like you said, they were well written. They had arcs, and those arcs. Here's why don't we have this one? Can we have continuity in our freaking franchises anymore? Can we have a character who's
so hard.
I know it's so high. I know, yeah. It's season 1, that character, when things happen to them over 5 seasons, that they're not the same character at the end, that they've grown. And when you write episodes, those events that may have happened, they maybe are reflected in that character development. It blows my mind. I don't understand like what the hell they're doing with our franchises. I don't. Let me get to Michael Salo. This is for $13.99 Canadian dollars. Says, as watch Shoresy. You'll love it if you get it in New Zealand.
So that's a Canadian show, and it's a spinoff from Letterkenny.
Oh,
Nice.
Is it about hockey and maple syrup and Tim Hortons?
That was just
Pretty much.
Okay, cool. What else do
So we have
got?
our resident New Zealand here on the panel today.
That's true. That's true.
I will say that I really like what you and Az said, Salty, just briefly earlier. The realism of the chain of command in old Star Trek not only gave a sense of purpose and respect to these characters, but it also gave them a lot of depth. Because I relate it back to my Marine Corps experience. Like your chain of command, if you don't respectfully speak to one of your superiors or some of your subordinates to respectfully speak to them in a direct order, you'll get slapped upside the face. And there are so much more to those men and women that I would either lead or that I was being led by. You would see their character by the way that they were able to speak with others, by their actions, by how that chain of command worked. And so when you get rid of all that, you're left with superficial things. You're left with superficial, I'm gay, so I make gay decisions. I am black, so I make black decisions. And it leaves no depth to the actual character of, as like you were saying, I'm not just this skin color. I am a man of integrity, of character, of morality, of science, of engineering, whatever it is that person is, that gives them that sentiment that people really latch onto and go, I resonate with that character because of these traits. So yeah, some of the best Marines that I served with were either, guys who were younger than me or enlisted guys that I had led that were of different backgrounds and different cultures and different races, but it was never that endeared me to them. It was their character that I was endeared to and really enjoyed. So that's real life, like you and you, it's much more real life that we're not seeing in film. Sorry to cut you off.
No. In regard to the chain of command, like forget all the intersectionality that goes on in Discovery. There was one scene in season 3, because I was forced to watch it because my viewers, and it just epitomized absolutely everything wrong with Discovery. And Mikey Burnham, she doesn't respect the chain of command at all. She does what she wants, and then she's like a petulant child. I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission, type of business. And she did a thing which was against, she did her own thing, and of course it saved the day because it's Mikey Burnham. And then she's back on this Starfleet, the new Starfleet shitty hub. Because it's Discovery and it's nihilism. And everything's destroyed and nothing. Everyone's unhappy. So on the shitty Starfleet hub now, which is this little bubble in space, and the admiral or whatever says, right, to Saru, he's like, right, you need to punish her. She needs to be punished for disobeying orders. So Saru's like crying.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Imagine Picard crying. Yeah, no. So Saru's crying, demoting Mikey Burnham, saying, "You're no longer going to be the first officer." And of course, she's crying because he's demoting her. And then when he demotes her, she says, "You did the right thing. You were right to do."
Validating him.
She gives her permission that it's okay for him to demoted her. And the next fucking episode, she's back in the fucking room with all the decision makers. She's just not second in command, but she's the one that always gets brought to all the meetings, who does all the talking for Saru and everything. And it's just like,
no consequences.
You're a bunch of retards. You are an actual bunch of retards. There's no there's no chain of command. It's just an absolute. It's embarrassing to watch.
It's not Star
chain
Trek.
of command thing. Yeah, it's not even close to Star Trek.
Let me get to this super chat. Speaking of things that aren't science fiction, this is from Super Captain Chris for $1.99. Thank you. Says the Halo show is ass. Literally. Yeah, that's another one I missed. And the only live stream I've ever had taken down before was for watching 12 seconds of the Halo trailer. So burn in hell. Burn in hell. That's all I'm going to say.
Use still images. And if you can't, cut it down below 10 seconds.
I know. I let someone who's from Canada who might have mass on the wall run the show that night. So that's why that
Who?
happened. So
Weird.
I don't know. Let me get to this super chat. This $10 says my introduction to Berserk, the 97 anime, was at a video store where a black guy who was a complete stranger recommended it to me. Of course, I screamed, "You're a different race!" and never watched it. This is how we work. And I can only applaud people like Netflix and Amazon for actually depicting how racist and terrible we really are in our fandoms. Hail to you, Daniel. Of course, I'm being facetious. So, yeah.
It's not a great tactic to tell fans that they're horrible people before trying to put out a product for them to watch.
It's true.
A little bit self-defeating, don't you think?
Wee bit. So let me see. Like, I think, all right, I am caught up on super chats. That's absolutely
Not quite.
fantastic. Okay, what do you got, Zaxx? Oh, this is wonderful. Okay, this is from Daniel for $5. Says Geordie LaForge. Oh God, this episode gets me every time. Geordie LaForge falls in love with Leia Brahms because of her work designing the engines. No one had a problem with this. We've always had strong female characters. We've always had women in STEM in science fiction too, if we're honest about it. But yeah, let's talk about that. Geordie LaForge was not just a tokenized character. He was not a summary of his disadvantaged childhood because of the content of or the color of his skin or his disability. He was a brilliant engineer who, more importantly, was a good man and a good friend.
No characters were tokenized.
No. No, and then he fell in love. Remember that he was also shown to be imperfect because he created a fantasy woman who, and we can debate the ethics of fooling around with Leia Brahms in the holodeck to build this relationship while doing engine design.
I got to correct you. It was the holodeck that created the image of Leia Brahms because the holodeck believed it would be a quicker interface for Geordie to bounce ideas off. So
fair enough. Yeah, I agree. But you know what I mean? It's like he fell in love with what he thought was this character.
She did give him a massage.
I know. Yeah. Massage. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I mean, these characters were absolutely fantastic.
By the way, do you know what the name of that episode is?
I've got a Woody for Leia.
No, it's actually called The Booby Trap.
I forgot. That's hysterical.
How much more on the nose could you get?
I know.
That's great.
Oh, like Blasted Phoenix's one. He says, "My holodeck, he's fully erect."
He went from flaccid to erect. Yeah.
Well, I have been known to say that if you walked into the holodeck, it would just stink of cum.
You're suggesting they have to hose it down every evening?
Oh, no.
You're gonna need walking poles. You're gonna need walking poles. Yeah.
You know, there's some drain in the middle, like a restroom or something. Otherwise, the holiday you just go, can I, computer, I want program 16. You go, Open the door to you. Oh shit, it stinks of sex in here. Fuck.
So we've got a request from a dear friend of this channel, and Lyle is asked, and I'm going to honor this. Says, in defense of Payne and McKay, their original script was rejected for being too Trekkie, and Simon Pegg completely rewrote it. And they are good writer, and there are good writers like Jennifer Hutchinson of Breaking Bad involved. Fair points. I don't think that I don't think it changes what so here's what I'm going to do, Lyle. Remember what they did with Wheel of Time, because that's how you and I found each other. I think they're going to do the exact same thing with Lord of the Rings. And there is someone who's I think has told us what a lot of us have heard anecdotally already, which is that it will be the same thing they did to Robert Jordan's characters that we saw with the Taveran and things like that. And like I said, I don't want this to be real. I don't want to create endless videos talking about how this show sucks. I will make them. I would much rather have a live stream after every one of these shows gets released where we can talk and laugh and say, thank God we got a pretty darn good Lord of the Rings show, because that's what I wanted to do with Wheel of Time. And guess what? I mean, and like, I don't, it's exhausting to harsh on these properties continually. It would be nice to have something cool to talk about, but at the same point, we got to call it what it is. Like, as said, if we don't keep calling this out, they're going to keep just making this crap endlessly. So,
it is. And there are very few good shows out at the moment that we can really kind of be enthusiastic about. I mean, the last one that I was really, really over the top over gushing was Cobra Kai, and that's one of the few shows that, you know, the next season I'm really looking forward to because it has such a good track record.
Yeah,
that's a great show.
Is there anything, and let's just open this up to the panel, is there anything that you guys are looking forward to that is coming out, like Cobra Kai, even if it is Korean, that we can share out with people? Because we do spend a lot of time being real about this, because you know, we're not going to intentionally lie to you. I mean, there are corporations who do that on a daily basis. Is there anything new that's coming out that you guys are excited about? I mean, obviously Thor 4. I mean, that's going to be a masterpiece, right?
Oh yeah.
But I mean, other than that, other than having our mythos ruined in a minute, is there anything? Is there anything?
I think we killed Az.
He's done. I know.
I just finished The Last Kingdom on Netflix, and it's pretty great. I recommend that.
Nice.
Last Kingdom is excellent. Yeah, people in the chat are saying Orville. We're finally getting the next season of that coming, so fingers crossed that's as good as the previous seasons.
I think Alice in Borderland season 2's due out soon.
Yeah,
I can't speak for shows, but Opus Publishing just put out a comic book called Death Dealer from Frank Frazetta.
Nice.
And they're supposedly going to be doing all of his artwork into character comic books. So Death Dealer will be one run of comics. The Silver Warrior will be another run of comics.
That's cool.
You know, so all his art pieces, they're going to try and do that. And a totally different publishing company. I've literally never heard of Opus in my 20 some odd years of, you know, reading. So that will be cool. I'd highly recommend. There's nudity. Gray, where's Gray in the chat? I know he's
lady
in the comic. Yeah. There's a ton of action. It's a sentient helmet that is kind of demonically possessed this man to you know, slay and slaughter his enemies. It's a really cool story, and it's like Conan on steroids. So that's what I have a little bit of hope for. And like I said, indie publisher, so you can't go wrong. But yeah, as far as shows go, I think I'd leave that to you guys, because y'all are in that realm a little bit more.
Honestly, I'm watching less and less actual TV and film, and I'm watching more and more YouTube. I'm watching, you know, my favorite channels, because that's what I'm getting all of my entertainment from.
Agreed.
That's such a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Zaxx? Did you have anything? I know about Outer Range, but was there? I know you've been into Korean cinema and television as well. Is there anything you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I've been a big fan of that for years now, before it kind of became popular with Parasite. Looking forward to, I'm gonna say probably not right now. Now that I finished Last Kingdom. Season 1 of From was excellent, though. I did like that, so I recommend that one as well. And we have a super chat here that for some reason did not come through to our side, but I caught it on the chat side.
Thank you.
And if it's Taker 610, and he says, Salty, have you asked Az about the very brief experience with Wheel of Time? Give him some context on Leandrin's character from the books.
Boy, that might be another hour, and I don't know if we want to do that.
I know. I'll tell you exactly how long that will be. 38 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the time. That's the time that I lasted watching Wheel of Time. 38 seconds.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I am out.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is only what 3 seasons of Batwoman.
I know. Look, I'm planted up enough as it is. You know, it's terminal that what I got right now with all these shows. I can't just add to it.
You know, I made a joke and I said that Wheel of Time for me set the record because it was right close to what you said. As it was the minute that they turned the character of Moiraine into a raging bitch that she never was in the books. It was about 28 seconds, and I was like, I threw my remote control across the room and I did shatter it. I did have to buy another one. And I hate that damn remote. I miss the old one. But this show, I said, is Lord of the Rings going to be even less than that 28-second mark? Where, as a fan, we tune in and we know within X amount of seconds that this is the ultimate FU. This is not even what we expected. We were sold a bill of goods. And I don't know, as I know you've seen some things, but I don't know if it strings you along, if it falls apart after episode 3 or what it is. But Wheel of Time set a whole new mark. 28 seconds for destroying a 15-book series. Yeah.
38, no offense. But,
oh, cheers. Yeah. You have more stamina.
Where's Zaxx? I was going to ask Zaxx a question.
Oh,
I'm here.
Have you watched Hellbound yet?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a ton. Yeah, it was great. They pull no punches in Korean media. It's all entertainment all the time and all based on story and character. I love it.
Yeah, because that really, it was really clever what they did with that show, and then the ending, the cliffhanger for season 2. It's just like, shit. So yeah, there's a lot of. If you haven't seen Hellbound on Netflix, go check out Hellbound. It is a doozy.
And Silent Sea is also good. I enjoyed that.
Silent Sea is good. It's slow burner, and
not as good.
It's not what I thought it was going to be, but it was very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough trans representation.
It's not enough trans people for me.
No.
So,
let me get
because I didn't see myself on the screen. I couldn't relate to any of the characters. They were all Korean, and I'm just like, I don't see myself. Therefore, it's this narcissistical twat. I can't watch this. Okay.
You're going to spurg out, not be able to enjoy your soy latte. Let me get to this super chat from Corey Timmons for $5. Says, there is only one show on TV not woke, and it's called Animal Kingdom on TNT. It's like Point Break, but a TV show, and it's about a family. It's the best TV. Well, hail, Corey Timmons. I don't know what that is, but it sounds great. And that's kind of what it is no one is here to shame you for what you like. What we just want to do is things that we love, we want to protect because they have been infiltrated, they have been co-opted, and they are now occupied. And they are not occupied by people who have the best interests of the original content of these things in place. They are interested in inserting trash, which to me is just Marxism in support of a agenda nobody wants. So,
it's not even Marxism. Yeah. It's fake ass Marxism. It's laziness. It's people who just want to sit at home with the fucking handout and get money, government money. That's what they think socialism is. They think it's sat on their ass at home, been given money by the government to explore their creative juices. They don't realize that it's them building the fucking roads and in the fucking mass graves that get thrown in while their government takes all the money and lives the life of Riley. But no. So
but as this next time, but as communism hasn't been done right. That's the only problem.
Oh, it's never been.
Hasn't been done right. As somebody who as somebody who was there through the 70s and the 80s and then the 90s and all this, I can tell you what, and as someone who studied history before they rewrote your textbooks, they did communism right. They did it exactly the way it's supposed to go. Spoiler alert. It doesn't get any better. especially in Cambodia. Look up that one. Let me get to this super chat from Dan C for 5 British pounds. Says, I want to see more as represented on the screen. You can try that and do some 999 with as here if you want. There we go. Let's get you big screen as. There you go.
Here we go.
Oh, yep.
What's up, bitch?
I covered him up.
Is that what you wanted? Is it everything you hoped for? Yeah. We'll let you finish. We'll let you have the big screen while you finish over there for as.
Oh,
so,
I'm not masturbating.
Oh no, not you, not you. The person who gave us the super chat.
Oh, okay.
That's what I figured was going on. So
I think he only needs 38 seconds though, so we should be he should be good. But
there you go.
I model.
While we have as on the big screen, I'll dip out, guys. I'm gonna start heading out to pack. But yeah, thank you so much for having me today, and as it's been a pleasure, brother.
No problem, dude.
Real quick before I head out, let me ask: top 3 of, I know this is a tough question. Top 3 of your statues right now.
Oh, okay. Well, they're all gone.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So
they're all in my bedroom now, ladies.
So you have Huntress in the bedroom with you?
Huntress, Batman, Catwoman, Batgirl, Gina Carano. They're all in the bedroom.
That's a hell of a party.
Oh,
that's a hell of that's a career. That's a career night.
To me, yeah, you know, it's just the batarangs. They really get up the. My favorite. I mean, but downstairs. I tell you what. Here's my top 3 statues right now. I mean, I love my Huntress statue.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna put her at number 3.
Okay.
My number 2 statue. This is a tough one because I love my Triss, which is downstairs.
Oh yeah.
And Siri. I got Triss and Siri next to each other, and they just look. So if you could give me Triss and Siri together, because they're like a unit for me at the moment, I'll take that as my number 2. My number 1 statue is in the front room, and it's Ken the Eagle from Gatchaman, aka Mark from Battle of the Planets. G-Force Battle of the Planets. So that statue is in my front room, and I was just looking. I sat on the sofa today, chilling out before the stream, just looking up at it and just thinking, God damn, that's a good statue.
That's cool, man. I thought you were gonna say Azrael for a second. Because I love that. I love that.
I forgot about my Azrael statue. That's the
one. You can't change it now. Come on.
Now number 3 is my girls. So yeah, my Azrael Batman. I forgot.
Trouble in Paradise.
Doesn't need him anymore.
I got too many.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh God, every time I sit down and look at that, I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
Just a crisis in my pants.
I gotta clean up
because it's 1 in 3 as well. It's big, you know. It's big because it's a 1 in 3. So,
yeah, it's definitely like even when I see it in other collectors, like rooms and stuff. It's a grail. Like it really is. It's a centerpiece. It sticks out. It's so rad. So, well, cool, man. I've always seen them on your show and everything. So I figured I'd ask though because I know there's some good ones out there. So.
I gotta get a Tifa though.
Tifa! We need a 1/3 scale Tifa, or maybe even 1:1.
We need a 1-in-1 scale
Tifa. 1:1. Anatomically correct.
That's you. That's, you know, I just need Tifa. Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna take off. Once again,
shout out your show. Shout out your show tonight, brother. Before you go, sorry.
Oh yeah, thank you. So yeah, Max's Man Cave tonight, 6 p.m. We're gonna have a special guest, so it'll be super fun. Unfortunately, it won't be because Az is our special guest here on this show. But yeah, I'll have someone come on tonight, and it'll be a lot of fun. So, but thank you again to Salty for making this happen. Thank you so much for Purple for bringing us all together today. It was super great, and Zaxx for always being our producer. So, and Az for being the best guest we could have asked for.
Yeah,
it's true.
You could have asked for.
Where's the? Yeah. All right, guys. Love you. Have a great rest of the week. I'll see you all tonight.
See you tonight, brother. Take care. Thank you, Max.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Let let me get to a couple of these super chats real quick. This is another one from, again, our good friend Lyle Hemmick for $20 says, well, I still have the War of the Rohirrim anime film directed by Kenji Kayamata, who also did Ghost in the Shell, standalone complex. In fact, I just rewatched The Laughing Man, and Solid State Society is so good. You're right. I am hopeful for the War of the Rohirrim because what was it? It was Philippa. Philip, I forget her name.
Boyens,
I think I see Philippa Butthole.
Yeah. It's Philippa Butthole is better than Phil my Kraken because I don't roll that way. So I'll take Philippa any day of the week.
Butthole. Wow.
Yeah. Dixon Cider, stay away from that guy. He's a walking problem. But yeah. What else do we got here? I love how it always comes back to dick jokes, you guys.
You said it.
Well, I know. I'm not complaining. This is Taker610 for $10. Says, to be fair, I'm not going to be fair to Amazon. You lost me on this one already. To be fair to Amazon, as the square-headed bint in red you saw at the beginning of the wheel does hate men in the books. The show still does its best to ruin its male characters throughout. However, Taker610, the Wheel of Time conversation is a long one. So Leandrin is part of there are so many things wrong with the show. I can't even address this. Let's just say that. You're right, Taker610. This would be 3 hours of explaining, and I did it all last season, of what the hell Amazon did. I think it really comes to what Az just said, is they're untalented. They don't have any idea what the hell they're doing. I think we see this agenda because this is all they know how to do, and they're talentless, godless hacks. And there, but for the grace of God, go I. This is from Carlos Batista for $2 US, says, ass, did you buy the Tifa doing the Jacko pose yet?
No.
No, but I remember you tweeting it out.
Yeah, it's on pre-order. I'm not, maybe when it comes out. But I am not parting with I'm not parting with money. I'm waiting. If Tifa's gonna jack-o'-lantern pose, better do it right now. Please.
I might have to look at that, you guys. So I think we've all caught up. We've been going about 2 hours, and I really want to be respectful of your time, as you've been very generous with it, and
Yes.
I've had a wonderful time. You have been an amazing content creator, and and there's Belle, who has an amazing singing voice, if we're honest about it. But I'm nobody's simp, but I do want to say that you were a major part of the inspiration for me starting this channel. And I thank you I remember the very first time I saw you, which was the very first appearance on Friday Night Tights. And I have never stopped laughing since then. And I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. So let's go around the horn. Let's go ahead and obviously let's start with Purple Valkyrie. What have you got going on the rest of this week?
Yes, absolutely. Just wanted to say also a big thank you to Mr. Buttcrack Media, who sent us a super sticker of a poop emoji. So
thank you.
Much appreciated. It's always great to see you in the chat. And look at Belle begging for treats.
I know.
She got him.
It was like a shark fin going by with like a body in it. That's
pieces,
Let me say a huge thank you to Salty Texas, to Zaxx, to Max, and of course to Az for this fantastic show, and a huge thank you to this amazing chat. You guys were brilliant. We had so many amazing comments, so thank you. Thank you for the support. We love you. I will be back tomorrow on this channel with these gentlemen doing the evening show, and then I will be back on my channel on Wednesday. So lots more content coming on Rise and Shine.
What about you, our Canadian friend? What's going on, Zaxx?
Like Purple said, I'll be back here tomorrow with you, putting out as many videos as I can a few times a week. And I got to thank Az a ton, because he gave me a boost early on, and it's made a giant difference for me. So thank you for that, Az.
Oh, no problem at all, man.
And one more thing, Makani Draws sent a super sticker of Ashimi Inu, and it didn't come up on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Thank
that.
you. Thank you, Makani Draws. I love the art streams, especially when Purple makes clay dinosaurs with you. Those are awesome. So, as obviously, what do you got going on the rest of the day? What are you doing the rest of this week? You want people to know?
Oh, I'm gonna watch an hour and a half of fucking Naomi now.
Oh no.
Oh, dude, it's almost over. It's like kidney stones. You'll get rid of them eventually.
Dig deep.
Yeah, it's like the fucking charge of the Light Brigade. This, you know, like Custer's Last Stand. It's just, oh my god, I just got to get through 90 more minutes. That's what I got to get through, and I'm done.
Honestly, I take my hat off to you and Jane Theory. You guys really powered through.
Well, Jane and I are going to be after that. We're going to be recording the final Naomi video. Thank goodness, which nobody's going to watch because nobody cares about the show.
Nobody.
We don't care. We just need to get over and done with.
It's like ripping off a bandage. Yeah, just get it done.
Well, you know, the show's cancelled now. I know, you know, I don't care anymore. I'm sure Jane doesn't care. It's just like, oh god, we're gonna talk about something just never coming back.
Too much integrity, dude. Just get a black dress sock and put some string on it and just have it go, hi, I'm the bestest ever. My show got canceled. 8 seconds, you're done. You'll probably get 80 million views on it, dude. Seriously.
So I'm doing that. Tomorrow it's the real BBC over on Nerdrotics channel this week. Yeah. Which, you know, surprise, surprise, we've got loads of stuff to talk about again. Because this is just one massive disaster every week after another. And then Friday Night Tights on Nerdrotics channel as well. I have no idea who this week's guest is.
Nice. Very nice. So a nice chill week then, as basically.
Yeah, I've got a chest of drawers arriving on Thursday. Which needs building, so it'll be fun. Yeah. And I'm gonna clean my toilet.
Chest of drawers building stream when?
Yeah, Thursday at some point, maybe Friday. I don't know. But yeah, I got my new hobby set up. Well, not my new hobby, but my new setup for my hobby stuff. I should really say. Over here now. Last night I did a quick test of the document cam.
It looked great. It really looked great.
Yeah, it's going to allow me to do some very up close and in focus painting. So that should just be better for the viewer. So expect some painting streams because Sargon wants to do it with us, and Nick Ricade has been doing it with us. So yeah, expect some of that action soon.
Cool. Nice. Very cool.
Very cool.
I want to say thank you very much, of course, to Purple Valkyrie, who was integral in making this happen. I am lucky enough to get to work and make content with her. Our show, Phenomenal, as well as the Tuesday night show. I am very grateful to the show's producer, Zaxx, who has been a good friend from the very beginning on this channel. And as once again, I, with great respect and with great appreciation, thank you for making the time today. Thank you for the laughter and your insights and your amazing insanity. Thank you to everybody who's been on chat. I am honored that you showed up. Thank you for the super chats. If we've missed anything, we will follow up on it. But I just want to say, you're not alone in this fandom. We're going to get through this. Just thanks for being here today. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your fandom. And I'm going to play us out with this, and you guys take care.
Bye.
Bye. As ever, this is Salty Texas C. I am Corey DB. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you've seen and heard, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you on board. That way you know, and we have things like live streams, which we are going to be doing every Tuesday evening. Take care. I hope you're having a great 2022.